All right, big fight this weekend. Shocking upset. Chris Algieri took out Provodnikov in a fight that few people gave him a chance to win. What were your thoughts on the fight and how it went?
Well, I mean, actually, I watched the fight, and I mean, it was a big upset, but at the same time, I think that the guy was overrated anyway. I mean, I think that after he showed a good showing with Tim Bradley, and then he beat what's the kid from Colorado, Alvarado, but I mean, if you go back to, you know, the type of fighter that beat him was the guy that boxes anyway. The guy, Herrera, you know, he outboxed him a long time ago and basically gave everybody a blueprint to beat him. So if he was a good boxer, you always had a chance to beat him anyway.
But he had Freddie Roach. Doesn't that make a difference?
Obviously not. Well, the one thing is this, is that, to be honest, the fight still, to me, I mean, it was an upset, but the fight could have went either way. I mean, I thought that I don't know how to say his name, Provodnikov, whatever, how you say his name, but anyway, I thought that he did well too, but I just think the guy outboxed him a little bit, and you know, and the guy was long, tall, and rangy, but I mean, the fight still was very close to me.
Did you know who Chris Algieri was going in the fight?
Never heard of him.
I thought that those type of fights is the reason what makes the judging so hard, because growing up, you know, they always tell you, you know, the pros is all about the bigger shots, the harder shots, actually hurting somebody. And I thought Provodnikov did that for the most fight. You know, you can compare them after the fight, you can see who was taking the more damage. But at the same time, I felt like Algieri was controlling most of the fights. You know, he was boxing real good. He was hitting them with clean shots. I mean, even though they weren't hurting Provodnikov, they were still landing. And statistically, you know, he had the edge on pretty much everything. So it was a real tough call. Initially, I need to go back and watch it, but initially, I didn't think that he had done enough to be the champion. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you got to come and beat the champion. You know, there should be no point. You should clearly have won a fight. But I mean, you know, props to Chris. You know, he came out, he was hurt, he kept his composure. And then he finished the 12-round fight, you know. And
did you even know who he was going into the fight?
I actually did not. But I was hearing his name circulate around the gyms in Vegas, you know. And I was hearing like 3 weeks ago that he was looking real good in sparring. He was actually sparring one of my boys. So and he was telling me that he was looking good, you know, and I was just hearing from a lot of different people that he was looking good and that he was going to upset Provodnikov, and he did. So props to him, congratulations to him and his team. You know, they did an excellent job, and I went back and looked at what he was doing, and he was training hard and eating right for the fight. So he put the hard work in, and you know, it paid off for him. So ups to him.
Thoughts on that fight and how it went out?
I think the best man got the decision. I mean, Provodnikov, he's a tough opponent. He's a tough fighter. But, you know, after the knockdown, you know, Chris Algieri's kind of, you know, gained control of the fight. You know, he kind of dug deep and started to box on Provodnikov. He realized that, you know, he's a boxer. Provodnikov's a banger, a tough, rugged fighter. So the best way to handle guys like that is to box around the ring the whole night, and that's what Chris Algieri did.
Did you agree with the decision?
I couldn't agree with it for the fact that a lot of people didn't know that Algieri was on the A side. You know, he was on the A side of their card. So with that being said, you know, I mean, Provodnikov, here he has a guy who used to see him impose his will on fighters and breaking them eventually, pushing them to their breaking point eventually in a 12-round fight. And Provodnikov, you know, he gave it his all, and whatever he threw at Algieri's weathered the storm and continued to display, you know, great, outstanding boxing skill for a guy to be able to move around the ring like that with one eye for 12 rounds. You know, I mean, how can you not give a guy a fight when he clearly landed more punches, even though it might not seem as hard as the punches Provodnikov landed. He clearly landed more punches.
obviously controversial, but some people have Provodnikov winning, especially after getting the monster first round. Thoughts on that fight?
I mean, I thought Algieri boxed, to a decision. I mean, for the most part, you can't win a round off just one big left hook. If a guy's hitting you, 20, 30 times more per round, he would land a big hook occasionally, every other round or so. But for the most part, I mean, besides a knockdown in the first, what was it, the first or second round? First round. I mean, he didn't really do much. You could look at the stats, and Algieri was more active. He was a better boxer. He looked better. It looked like, I'm not going to say he dominated the fight, but he definitely looked like he did more, and he definitely looked like he won the fight.
Did you know who Algieri was before the fight?
Yeah, I boxed him when I was 17 years old, and it was a good learning lesson for me. I was a young kid, and it was a pro, and I couldn't wait, and I wanted to box him. It was a good experience for me.
So having had a little experience with him, were you surprised that he was able to do, to capture a world title?
Not at all. I mean, it's been years, obviously since we boxed. I'm 22 now, and that was a long time ago. But I mean, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, I know the guy can box, and in my opinion, it's brains over brawn any day, and he seemed like he had the better brain and the better.